Well, howdy, howdy, howdy. Nearly senior citizen here. Greetings, boys and girls, and welcome to this another brand new day. Yes, indeed, it is. I imagine it's Friday. I think yesterday was Thursday. Well, I thought I'd gotten a whole bunch of audio clips and video clips together for some kind of intro, but, well, after all the opium and tablets wore off, I realized I'd just covered myself in Elmer's glue and rolled around on a big pile of chopped brown paper. I don't have an intro, and I gotta figure out how to get all this glue out of my pubic hair. And it is 7:18 a.m. It is really dark outside, and it's raining quite solidly. It's been raining all day yesterday. In fact, about 2:30 yesterday is when, in the afternoon, Pacific Standard Time, is when it started to get dark because of the thick cloud layer. 2:30, and it was almost as dark as it normally is around 4 o'clock. So yesterday was a very dim day, but it's raining, and thumbs up for that. And I tried to wake up little Dust Mop so that he'd come over so I could pick him up and show everybody. But while he was active when I first came in, and that he was in his nest, but I made noise and he came out. And I picked him up and played with him for a while, let him run around in my shirt and stuff. But then I put him back in. This time when I made noise, his nest went oof as he jumped inside, but then he didn't want to come out. So I just went, oh, I'm sorry. So I'm sorry. He's doing okay though, and little Figmo, I was playing with him last night. Dr. Snurf is A-okay. Boy, this is going to be another one of these days. My sincere apologies. Gojira as once again and still moved into her mason jar, a very good thing. And Dr. Snurf is the one against the far wall. I meant Saber/Cream here in her cage here. /home. Try not to say cage, say home. That's what I've been trying to do. But these hamsters here all have their nests on the far side, and she's of course in her mason jar, so nobody's easy to get to, but still they're sleeping and I don't want to bother them, but they're A-okay, and thumbs up for that. Very, very good thing. I have written down a fair amount of stuff, so am I going to be able to get to it all? I have no ideas. One of the things that happened yesterday when I talked to my therapist is, I can't remember if I mentioned this before, though I'm pretty sure I did, how I read a post that someone had put about, drinking caffeine to sleep. And it's like, the other person said, that's a big sign of ADHD. And so somebody on Facebook said, talk to blah, 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 and so I'm doing that. But I talked to my therapist about it, and when I said all this stuff, because I said some people are I know they're so sensitive to caffeine, they can't drink any caffeine after noon or it keeps them awake all night. But I drink caffeine to calm down to sleep. And he asked me a whole bunch of questions, like, it's like how hyperactivity as a child, ADHD as a child. Now, when I grew up in the 60s, they just called it hyperactivity. I was treated for being a hyperactive child. I don't know what happened, but when I have a fair amount of childhood amnesia, where you just can't remember a lot of what happened in your childhood, I have little flashes. I remember seeing a child psychologist and knocking blocks down. I can't remember anything what happened past that. I know my parents talked about it. I don't know what happened or such. But there's that. He asked me if I have tinnitus. Like, not constant or just any kind, but just that kind, like after a bomb goes off, that they have in movies. That sound, that one. And I said, well, it's every once in a while, not always, but thinking back, here I was talking to him, and I had that going on while I was talking to him and wondering, am I ever experiencing this? So, yeah, there's that. And then he asked me, are you able to concentrate on video games? Because I mentioned my concentration problems. I've had concentration problems my whole life. In fact, thinking back, the times that I have had my worst times trying to sleep with my worst insomnia are times that I have not been addicted to caffeine, or I have not drank caffeine close to sleepy time. So, video games, yeah, I can play video games for hours. I'm able to fixate on the game Dusk until I can get all the way through one of the episodes. But just trying to answer a one-page form is so hard I can fall asleep. But it's the flashing lights and the sounds of the video games are easy to keep your attention. I think that's also been, as I've noticed, I love role-playing games. And back when I was younger, when I was drinking, which I gotta ask him about, do people use alcohol to self-medicate for damn near every problem in the world? Do a lot of people self-medicate with alcohol for adult ADHD? Because when I was younger and drinking, I played things like Bard's Tale and solved it. I've never solved another game like it since. In fact, the more difficult, the more you have to think and remember, the more difficult it is for me to play. I love the game The Outer Worlds. You gotta think and remember, and it's not a whole bunch of flashing lights and amazing sounds. But yeah, he thinks one of the, I was trying to remember the name while swallowing at the same time, like, what is it, Ritalin or Adderall and all that? He thinks that would do wonders for me. That I would finally be able to think and concentrate, and it would get the stuff going inside of my head properly. If this has been my problem my whole life, that yeah, I've been suffering from untreated adult ADHD for like the past 30 some odd years, ever since I went through puberty, or 40 years by now, that would explain why it's so hard for me to just concentrate, why I'm going through 1,000 different thoughts when I'm out walking instead of being able to concentrate on just the one thing. So I'm looking forward to that. He's sent on his paperwork. I have to call the American Lake, which is where I am, in Washington State. It's the closest thing to me. It's like 50 miles away. There's a telehealth line, so I have to call them to get the number for telehealth to talk to somebody about this, because he thinks it would do wonders. Apparently, ADHD and depression are stuck together like this. If you have one and the other, they get locked like mirrors reflecting into each other, and it's hard to break them apart. That could be a big part of what's wrong. So, woof. Thumbs up for that. Hopefully I'm going to be able to get things fixed. It would be nice to be able to think properly. And then off to the side. Yes. Yesterday, my housemates talked to one of their step-parents. I can't remember who. And their step-parent went out and bought them a washing machine for Christmas. So mine is dead. I mean, it's just dead. They took a look at it. We couldn't take it to an appliance repair place because that would have cost more. I mean, if they come to you, that's $60 right off the bat. Then you've got parts and labor. If you bring it to them, that's $40 right off the top. Then you got parts and labor. We live in a capitalistic society. You have to survive. You have to commodify what you can do. I have no issues with that part of it. It's just none of us have that kind of money. It would have been like $500, $400 just to repair it. So I didn't. They talked to their family and they got a new washer for Christmas. And so my clothing is washed, their clothing is washed. It's a good thing. Definitely a thumbs up. I'm sad that mine broke and we just have to find a way to get rid of it. But past that, it's good. Definitely a thumbs up. Yay, and yesterday. As much as I am depressed, as much as I am isolated, as much as I have social anxieties, I also know that isolation is not good for you. You need to be part of the community. We have in this, I've mentioned this before, there's a building downtown where it used to be a furniture place for the past like 90 years, but they went out of business 2 years ago. They went and put a Christmas tree maze in the front parking lot. They had the Guinness Book of World People there. It was like 797 lit Christmas trees in the Christmas tree maze. And then there's been stuff going on inside the building where they sell food, crafts. There's things that they had Santa come out so the kids could sit on his lap, stuff like that. I wanted to go after the night before I saw that, it was going to be the 19th was the last day. Well, that was yesterday, wasn't it? So even though it was raining pretty hard, I put on my hiking boots and I grabbed my big brolly and I went out to be part of the community. Maybe I wasn't going to talk to anybody. That's fine. Maybe I'm depressed and sad over a whole bunch of things, like the things that people do. Great celebrations, all I can see is the cracks in the plaster holding stuff together and how shoddy and how ready everything is to fall apart. And even though it's wonderful that we can all pretend and we can keep going forward into the future on that base of pretending, because that's what human civilization is, it still just depresses me. And especially 790, there are probably a good 1,000 trees that they killed. There's the million tree thing by Mr. Beast, and yet here in Shelton we chopped down 1,000 trees to counter that. But I went through the maze in the rain with all the electricity and electrical wires everywhere, so thank goodness that everything works out well that way. And it was fun walking through the rain. The odd part is with my eyes and the rain, I didn't want to wear my glasses because of the rain. I just didn't want. Wouldn't even be able to see as well with them and wet as I would with going out without them. But for my eyes, it was just bizarre. Because of the rain and such, all the trees were like there was a glow filter put on a video. Everything was glowing. Even when I was standing next to it, there was an aura around each light on the tree, and it was the weirdest bloody thing, because normally I don't have Instagram filters on my eyes, but there was an Instagram filter on my eyes last night, and looking at everything was all lights had an aura. I've been having weird stuff going on with my vision, so maybe I should probably get that checked out, where occasionally it's like I'm looking through but it's been doing this for the past 5 years, where I'm looking through like a cheese grater made out of plastic, and I can literally see all of the plastic lines, and it stays. It's just a block like this with lines going through it, and everything is jaggy like it's pixelated. And I've looked at things and they've been pixelated before, so maybe there's something going on in the vision center of my brain. I don't know, but there was a nice Instagram filter. Yay! Let's see what else I have. Oh, really quick. Werner Vinge writes he's a science fiction writer, and one of the books he wrote was it was a pretty thick book called The Deepness in the Sky. Basically, the story is about a bunch of human beings that we travel to this far planet, and we discover that there's a race of like ice spiders living down there. And then there's a big intrigue going on the ship, and then there's the story happening with the ice spiders on the planet, but they're literally ice spiders. They look like spiders, and they live on a planet that goes from like -100 during its summertime to so cold that even the ice spiders go into hibernation down deep, and then they come out during the summertime. When he wrote the story, when Werner Vinge wrote the story, he didn't write the ice spiders part as ice spiders. The only time you would know that they were ice spiders is when he was looking at it from the human being's point of view and what they were doing, trying to help communicate and help the ice spiders, because they were basically going through a civil war, between dictatorship and freedom. But when he wrote about the ice spiders from the ice spiders' point of view, it was just John and Sally, and come on kids, and as they ran for the door, he grabbed his weapon, and then they all clambered into the car and started driving away, looking into the mirror, and they seen the car chasing them, written entirely as if it was just human beings having a story, an adventure. Bit of emotion there caught at me. I love that metaphor. Because there's 3 layers of metaphor. Fiction is already a metaphor. And now there's another layer of metaphor thrown on top of that to show the human story of what the ice spiders are going through. And so you never knew they were ice spiders if you only saw it through the ice spider's eyes. And so that is what I really love, because you can play around so much in fiction. And that is why I think, when you write weird stuff on stories, like with my cosmic horror stuff, or right now I'm writing as kind of a children's series thing, and it's like, well, which sort of thing is canon? Well, it's all canon. All of it. Because it's all metaphor. What's happening in the little Gotsy Ray stories where they're kids and all that, in reality is nothing, nowhere close to what it would be in real life. We wouldn't even be able to recognize these beings as beings. But cutting it down into metaphor is so fun. It's cool. Definitely a thumbs up. I didn't get to go through some of the things that I wanted to talk about. So you know what? That's life. And I've opened up 24 hours worth of comments in my community tab, and I'm going to go through and thank 20 to 25 people for having left me a comment. I'm not reading the comments right now. I'm just thanking you for having left a comment. If I mispronounce the username, no disrespect is intended. And because I count in American Sign Language, but because of my depression and all that, I do get lost. So really, there's not a but in there. It's just, I do this, but I do that. So thumbs up. Let me call up my Chrome and I'll start thanking people for having left me comments. Did I actually open up that community tab? Oh my god, I am now opening up my community tab to thank 20 to 25 people. That's embarrassing. Hokey smokes. Yes, okay, we have Flame Monarch, thank you very, very much. And Russian Timing, greatly appreciated. Acer HD Gaming, thumbs up and thank you. Alex MJ Broken 64, thumbs up and thank you very much. Pyrie, greatly appreciated. Confused Owl 29, thumbs up and thank you. Santiago Solorzano, I'm nowhere close, but thank you very, very much. How have you been, Small World Lol? Thumbs up and thank you. Kathy Kiss Cat, greatly appreciated. Stefano Cousin, thumbs up and thank you. And Colin Reisner, greatly appreciated. We have Old Sparky, greatly appreciated. And Stephen Blanchard, thumbs up and thank you. Play D Gamer, thumbs up. A Lemon Pie 407, thumbs up and thank you. Plank Gast, not quite sure how that's pronounced, but thank you very, very much. HATR, thumbs up and thank you. Paladin Walliam, greatly appreciated. And we have Young Ohio Boy, thumbs up and thank you. Kill Me Now, well, I won't, but thank you very, very much. And then we have ARB, thumbs up and thank you. Tyler Wells, greatly appreciated. We have Max G, thumbs up and thank you. Just a Messenger, bruh. And then we have Red Pepper Gaming, thumbs up and thank you. Each and every one of you. You get me out of my head, into the world, dealing with real people. And when you're depressed, that is a very good thing. Definitely a thumbs up. If you could check out my various links down below, I have Twitter, Facebook, GoFundMe, Patreon.com. If you could donate to my GoFundMe campaign or become a Patreon.com patron like one of these beautiful and awesome people, that would be beautiful and awesome. If you wanted to help support me but didn't want to send any money to the GoFundMe or the Patreon.com, if you could donate to my PayPal link down below, that would be awesome. But if you wanted to support me but didn't want to actually send me money, I also have an Amazon wish list down below that I'm going to double check and make sure the stuff is on. ADHD. So if you could check that out, that would be very awesome. It has things like hamster food, cat food, me food, silly things, non-silly things. You know, if you could check it out, that would be awesome. But don't feel obligated. I don't feel entitled. And if you cannot donate, or you simply do not donate, I take all good wishes and I deposit them in the bank of my heart where I draw interest. So thank you very much. If you could toss me a like, I do appreciate all the positive validation I get from my existence. A definite thumbs up. And of course, if you could subscribe to the channel and hit that bell. That would be very cool, greatly appreciated. I would understand if you did not wish to, but if you are down with it, I will do my very best to keep you entertained from now until the literal end of time. Definitely a thumbs up. I have gotten very warm in the last 20 minutes of talking. It was very cold, I put this on, and now I'm about to start sweating. Thumbs up. I have this video that you're watching, hopefully, anyway. I have another video I need to edit and render. Another one to hopefully record, edit, and render, though if I only have 2, that's A-okay. So, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, my friend. And that is a very good thing. A definite thumbs up. So, be a part of the community. It really does help.